What's going on, guys? We're back with another Epic 7 video. Today we're going to go over the new player selective summon or reroll tier list for the Awaken update that just recently happened, because that shakes up some things and changes up the previous best reroll character, which is Sigret. As you see, I have in a specific tier right here. She is now in her own free tier. You get her for free through doing the new hunt event. You get Sigret for free, who's perfect for Wyvern. You get Sirmia for free, who's perfect for Golem. And you get Vivian for free, who's perfect for Banshee. So that helps out the new players a lot. So with that in mind, let's go over which characters are now the best ones for rerolling to get started in Epic 7. Now, the first character we have on our list right here is Isaria. Isaria is probably one of the best ones. I would say definitely a good S tier pick to keep in mind to have. What she does is she helps reset cooldowns. So she's really good with this one character called Tamarine, who has a long cooldown at the start of the battle. And then if you use this area, it resets the cooldown instantly, so that way she can transform into her model form and get going. As well as with other characters, if they use their S3, which is like their ultimate skill, she will let you reset that cooldown so you can use it 2 times in a row. And she's pretty much, I believe, the only character that has a reset like that for other characters. So that's why she's going to be in the S tier. Now, the second one right here is we have Charlotte. Charlotte is going to be a solid pick as well. I'll put her in the A tier. Late game, she's actually a pretty good PvP character, believe it or not. If you have been watching any gameplay recently, there's this creator tournament that happened yesterday in the past 2 days. And she was actually picked quite a bit. Her Gale Wind attack is very strong. She's a pretty good AoE wave clearer. So she could be good for clearing early game content as well as late game PvP. So for that reason, I'll keep her in the S tier actually, because like I said, she's actually pretty good late game and early game. She can actually help clear content very easily. So I'll put her in the S tier as well. Now we have Aramitha right here. Aramitha has gotten buffed recently, but I'd put her in the B tier for rerolling. She's not really needed for anything. She's pretty good at Golem. She's got decent AoEs and is okay in PvP. But for starting out, I wouldn't worry about her. I'd put her on the B tier for now. She's not insanely useful. She's not insanely bad either. But if you like her, go for her. If not, there are a couple other ones. Tywin used to be an S tier when the game first came out, but now he's more of a B tier as well. There's just a lot better tanks to go with. Even 4 stars like these 2 that I have down here could be just as good. And Angelica right here is actually possibly a better tank than Tywin right here. So just keep in mind that he's going to be power crept, or he's already power crept. You could be pulling like a Crow or anyone like that, and that'll fit the tank role that you'll need for Wyvern just as easily for Tywin. So not really too necessary. Chloe, I've never actually pulled Chloe myself. I just know she's decent in Wyvern, but with all the new Wyvern supports that come out, like the 3-star Mui character and all these other ones, you probably don't really need Chloe anymore. Now, another good one right here is Ravi. Ravi's pretty good, but I'll put her in the A tier. I think she's pretty good for clearing early game content. Late game, she does fall off a bit. But for clearing the early story, she'll carry you through the early story pretty easily. And other than that, not going to be too amazing late game. If nothing else, getting Ravi is going to be good for memory imprint. So if you pull a second Ravi in the future, you could use it for an Apocalypse Ravi memory imprint, which Apocalypse Ravi is one of the best characters in the game. So that's a good reason to keep in mind that Ravi might be worth picking. Now we have Ludwig right here. Ludwig is actually pretty good, but I've never actually enjoyed using him myself. He's a really good cleaver for PvP, and that's pretty much it. So I wouldn't recommend picking Ludwig here. Destina was one of the best ones as well to pick. She recently got buffed with a little revive skill, but I would actually put her in the B tier. I'd say if you're going to be selecting a character, you want to select something that can help carry you through the early game, through the mid game, and all that stuff. So for that reason, I'll put her in the B tier. There's just a lot better healers. You get, like I said, Angelica right here, who you get for free. And then down here, you're going to get a Momo for free, basically, because she's a 3-star. And those are perfectly good healers. You're not really going to need to worry about any other healers for quite a while. So the goal in the beginning is just to make a good Wyvern team, and Destiny is not going to help with that. Now, Ken I actually really like, but unfortunately, he's not too amazing anymore. For Ancient Inheritance, which is a new Guild Wars event that recently came out, he's one of the best for that. So for that reason, I might want to put him into A tier, but for all other content in the game, he's not the best. His #1 shining grace is doing Golem, but Golem's the worst of the hunts, so unfortunately for that reason, I'm going to have him in the B tier. Now, the #1 character I would pick for sure is Vildred right here. I'd put Vildred as #1, 100%. The reason why Vildred is the best, in my opinion, to pick is because he will clear the game so much faster for you. He'll make your farming so much faster. He'll clear stages so much faster because his S1 hits multiple characters, and his S3 is an AoE attack that just blows up everything early game. And other than that, you want lots of Vildred dupes because he has the best imprint in the game, which is Speed Imprint. And Speed Imprint just gives your characters, all your characters, more base speed, which late game, early game, speed is king. So, in my opinion, Vildred is the #1 choice, followed by Asaria and then Charlotte in that order. Now we've got 3 other ones to go over. We got Ball and Suzanne, and honestly, I don't even know what they do. I've never used them ever. I think they just do like some debuffs and stuff, so I'm just going to put him in B tier. I've never needed to use him for anything, so just keep him in B tier. Probably never going to need to use him. Says used to be one of the best characters, but unfortunately he fell off a lot as well. For early game farming and fun, I guess I would keep him in the A tier, to be honest. Because of his early game wave clearing, he can kill multiple enemies at the same time. He'll help you clear the story really fast, similar to Vildred. And recently, Smilegate did a survey saying what characters we want buffed, and Sez was actually on that list, so it's very possible Sez could be getting a buff soon. So with that in mind, and the choices that we have available, I'll throw Sez into the A tier. Now, we've got one other pick, which is Basar. And Basar, he's pretty good. I'd put Basar in the A tier as well. Basar, keep in mind though, if you pick him, you're going to be saving him more so for PvP in the future. So if you plan on wanting a good PvP character in the future to help you start your account out, Basar could be very good for that. For PvE and other stuff like that, he's not going to be the best for that. He does have a couple AoE attacks, but he doesn't do much damage. What Basar does is he just strips all of the enemy characters' buffs, and then he debuffs them. So that way you can then debuff them with your own defense break and whatnot. So for that reason, he's still one of the best debuffers and strippers in the game. So for that reason, I'll keep him in the A tier. In the future, if you don't have any strippers, you're going to want a good stripper. So Basar will be king for you early game as a new player in the PvP world. Now, other than that, let's just go over a couple good 4 stars. As I said earlier, Wyvern is your ultimate goal as an early player. You want to try to get to Wyvern 13 or at least Wyvern 10 as fast as possible. And Angelica will be your #1 tank for that reason. So, like I said, if you want to try to, I believe you can save a selective summon. So if you can get any of these S tiers right here, and then an Angelica, that's going to be one you want to save and think about using. Secondly, we have Clarissa right here, who's a pretty good attacker. She's not 100% needed, so I wouldn't really worry about trying to get her for sure. But Angelica is definitely just as good as these 5 stars early game. So a perfect reroll, in my opinion, would be Vildred and Angelica, and then anything else. So that would be your ultimate goal. If you want a hardcore try to reroll for that, then you can do that. But remember, these are just 4 stars. You're most likely going to be able to pull them with all the free summons you get. So don't worry too much about the 4 stars. And that's pretty much it. Sigret, again, is going to be the best character. However, do not pick them from the selective summons because you get them for free. So in my opinion, go Vildred, and then Asaria, and then Charlotte in that order. And then the same for this one. I would go Ravi and then probably Basar, and then Says in that order. And then the B tier, all of them don't really matter. So I'd go for those 6 characters specifically, preferably going for Vildred, and that's pretty much it. So if you guys are looking for more beginner's guides, I'll probably be coming out with some more beginner's guides. I'm going to be starting making some more Epic 7 content. So hit me up with a follow and a subscribe if you are interested in more Epic 7 videos, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.